Hello mouses! Well, today we're going to be talking about contracts, specifically what makes a contract and what they're about. The tapping you can hear is due to important work going on off screen, just so that you know that we are efficient and business-like here. So let's get to it. So what is a contract? Basically, a contract is an agreement that can be enforced by the courts. Whereas, if I were to say to such and such, can I borrow your DVD? And they say, yes, of course. And then they don't give me the DVD. I can't go to the court and say, they said they'd lend me their discs and they didn't. And because the court will go, well, what do you want us to do with it? However, if we had a contract instead, such as, may I purchase your DVD for £10? And the other person says, yes, of course you can purchase it for £10. And then I give them £10, but they don't give me the DVD. I can then go to the court and say, we had a contract for sale of a DVD, and they didn't give me it, but I give them the money. The court will go, well, in that case, the person who didn't give the DVD, you have two options. You can either give back the money, or you can give them the DVD. Because that's how it works. The court will then enforce the contract, or give them the option of resetting us to the points where we were before the contract was made, which is called compensation. The purpose of compensation being to put you back on the same or as equal a footing as you would have been on had the contract never been made. So what is a contract? Well, a contract is basically an agreement caused by an offer and acceptance of that offer, the consideration, and an intention to create legal relations. A consideration is the interesting one because although it's called consideration, you don't have to consider it. What it actually means is there has been either a detriment or a gain which is caused by the contract. So £10 in the sale of a DVD, that's a consideration. Or me mowing your lawn in exchange for you making me a cup of tea, that's a consideration. It's basically something happens on the part of both parties. Either I gain or I lose, or you gain or you lose. The term consideration, it's an old one and it's archaic why it's there, so we'll not go into too much detail. All you really need to know is you're either doing something or paying something, or you're getting something, and that's how it works. So, intention to create legal relations. What does that mean? Well, what it basically means is it's a get-out clause for courts to go, well, that really wasn't a contract. It was an agreement and it looks like a contract, but you're father and son, so we don't normally suggest that that's going to be a legal contract. More, it's a family agreement. Or you two are best friends, you live together, and you said that you'd run a bath if he made the toast, and you didn't. That's not really going to be a legal contract because there's no actual intention to create legal relations there. You can, under certain circumstances, you can have a corporate relation that looks like it's a family relation, so there wouldn't be an intention to create legal relations. Or, equally, two members of the same family, like father and son, could sit down and write out a contract stating that one will do something in exchange for the other doing something, such as, I will sell you my house, and then you've got a legal contract. So that's fine. There are ways around it, you see, but the courts will generally presume that if you're family, there won't be a legal contract. And that's all that a contract is. So, what have we got? Offer, such as, can I buy your DVD? Acceptance, such as, yes you can. Consideration, here is £10, and thank you. And then intention to create legal relations, which in a sale of goods contract usually is. So what happens if one side decides that they're not really interested in upholding the contract? What can you do? Well, the first thing you can do is you can pursue them in small claims. Go to the small claims court and file a form basically stating what your contract was and what happened. As in, I gave them £10, they didn't give me the DVD. And then the courts will deal with that. They'll hear it, they'll hear both sides and make a decision. Usually, in the case of a contract, it's fairly clear. As long as it's a written contract. If it's a verbal contract, you've got to hear both sides and weigh up what exactly was happening and whether a contract was actually formed, whether both sides intended a contract. And then you'll see what happens. And they go through and make a decision. Or one side could go, well, actually, yeah, I did do that. I did make a contract and I don't really want to go to court, but now I've had the summons. I'd like to make good on the contract. And then you can say, oh, well, that's fine, and take the stuff that you owed, and then cancel the case with the courts. and then go on as if nothing had happened. That's perfectly fine, or you can go in and the courts will deal with it. That's basically the sum of contract law. There are differences in every jurisdiction, of course, but that's the basics of contract law, so now you know it. And that's all we have for you today. Until tomorrow, I've been Zoe Kirk-Robinson, you've been watching a video, and I'll see you later.